Hello, race fans. It was time for the Australian Grand Prix recap. We're gonna talk all about all the fun stuff that happened this weekend. I'm gonna be talking about the qualifying. I'll be talking about qualifying head to head. I'll talk about the race, and I'll talk about the race head to head for all the team. Heck yeah, brother. Without further ado, I do want to just quickly address free practice. Yeah, with the qualifying. Or free practice, sorry. Free practice. Poor Ollie Bearman. His struggles in his first race weekend, full, proper race weekend as a full-time F1 driver. I feel bad for that man. He didn't even get to qualify because he crashes in FP1, which kind of messes up his gearbox. And then in FP3, FP1 he bins it, and then FP3 FP3 he puts it in the gravel. So that doesn't help right away. So poor Bearman, he didn't even get a chance to qualify. So now let's go into qualifying. So for qualifying, it was a pretty, normal. There were some few surprises, which I will be getting into. But first, let's talk about who we lost in Q1. In Q1, we lost Bearman, but he didn't even have a chance to qualify, so he got a whopping P20. Esteban Ocon, Sergio Perez.
It's me, Austin! Oh, son of a bitch!
Oh, sorry, Liam Lawson at 18. Nico Hülkenberg at 17th. And Kimi Antonelli in 16th. Watch out, keep an eye on Kimi Antonelli. As also, what I forgot to mention quickly in the intro, I'll also be doing the qualifying head-to-head, the race head-to-head, the fastest lap, and we'll kind of keep track of who has fastest lap throughout the season, and my driver of the day, or drivers of the day, where it is applicable. And today, Sunday, we had 3 drivers of the day, in my opinion, which I will tell you at the end after we have recapped the race. So, that being said, let's get back into the qualifying talks. Q2 would then start, and after Q2, we lost Gabriel Bortoleto, Jack Doohan, which I gotta say, for somebody who a lot of, maybe not Alpine fans, because they know Franco Colapinto is waiting in the wings, so it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when Colapinto gets into that car. A P14 in your first qualifying as a member of F1 when literally everybody is waiting on your downfall is not bad for Jack Doohan. I think Jack Doohan really did well. Sucks the race didn't go his way, but we'll get into that a little later. Lance Stroll, Papa Alonso, and Isaac Hadjar were all lost in Q numero 2. Hadjar with a close to that 10th. I must say, he was close. Hadjar really did good in qualifying. We'll see if it translated to the race. So then we had Q numero 12. So at Q3, we lost Carlos Sainz in 10th, Pierre Gasly in 9th, Lewis Hamilton in P8, Leclerc in P7, Alex Albon in P6, my boy, the tallest man in F1, Yuki Tsunoda, P5. And I just want to say, Tsunoda really impressed me this whole race weekend. Too bad his strategy fucked him in the end. But we'll talk about him a little more. Russell in P4, Max Verstappen in P3, Oscar Piastri in P2, and taking pole was Lando Norris. So now we will talk about our head-to-head. We'll go from top to bottom for the qualifying. So whoever finished the top for each team, and I will say the winners and losers. So for McLaren, Lando Norris has outqualified Oscar Piastri 1-0. Max Verstappen has outqualified Liam Lawson 2-0, or 1-0, sorry. Russell outqualifies Kimi 1-0. Yuki Tsunoda has outqualified Isaac Hadjar 1-0. Albon has outqualified Sainz 1-0. Leclerc has outqualified Lewis Hamilton 1-0. Pierre Gasly has outqualified Doohan 1-0. Alonso has outqualified Lance Stroll 1-0. Gabriel Bortoleto outqualifies Nico Hülkenberg 1-0. And Esteban Ocon, it's 1-0, but like Behrman didn't even get a chance. Either way, qualifying result is a qualifying result. So if you remember back in my first episode of Formula Moon, I did a prediction for the Australian Grand Prix, and I said pole position would go to Lando Norris. Mark that up for one right for Mr. Moon, aka me, the big dog. I got one right with that. So I'm feeling pretty good. Hopefully I can keep that going with China. Probably not. I will probably get China horribly wrong like I did the race results, but hey, we'll get to the race results in a little bit. So we start Sunday, rain. And I love a good rain race. My favorite race last season was Brazil, and that's not just because my favorite driver, Max Verstappen, won. But it helps. No. In all seriousness, wet weather races are so good. I love it, and I love them. So, let's talk race. We're on the formation lap. Everything's going good. They're trying to, warm up their tires, and we lose somebody in the barrier. Unfortunately, it was a distraught Isaac Hadjar. And man, I feel so bad for Isaac Hadjar. Bro didn't even get a chance to debut properly in Formula One. Like, I feel so bad for him. Like, and of course, he was tearful. Like, we got to remember, through all the shit these guys go through and all the intense training, at the end of the day, the rookies are still just kids. And, it makes sense for Isaac Hadjar to be so upset that he didn't get a chance to, race at all. It's very upsetting, and I understand the position he's in. So, I feel bad for him. Then we go, after they, clean up his car, take his car off, we have the formation lap start again. Then formation lap goes off without a hitch this time. And then Crofty says those famous words.
It's lights out and away we go.
I don't know if you watch the Sky Sports, so, Anyway. So then we're racing. Verstappen's pushing Norris, but at the end of the day, Norris is in first. Then we lose 2 cars before the race has really even gotten underway. We lose Jack Doohan, and we lose Carlos Sainz. Although Carlos's car was being a little weird, and I think he was also trying to warm up his tires too, I believe. Like, fully warm them up, and he was complaining there was too much throttle, I believe. But even still, when he was trying to get the car up to snuff, it didn't really work, unfortunately. So we don't really get to see what Carlos Sainz can do in that Williams. If it's anything like qualifying, I think it will be a very promising year. I believe it could be a very promising year for him, but yeah. So we'll skip ahead to lap 17 when Max Verstappen cuts it close in the gravel. Recovers, but it's enough for Oscar Piastri to take second, and we're hyping up a McLaren 1-2 from now on. Everybody's like, yeah, McLaren 1-2. Let's go, Then we had a few updates for infringements under safety car. So Yuki Tsunoda, Albon, and Tsunoda and Alonso were put in, and then everybody was clear all at the same time. And after his lap 17 incident, Verstappen's tire degradation went down the roof. Like, at one point, he was, I believe, almost, I think, 14 seconds behind Piastri, and this is before like the next safety car, because there's, I think, like 4 total safety cars, I believe. 3 or 4. Anyway, that's the number's not important. We'll talk to it as we go. But yeah, tire degradation was bad for Max. He wanted to switch to fresh inters, but his engineer advised against it. On lap 25, we got a golden Ferrari moment that is just absolute cinema.
Is there a leakage?
A leakage of what?
I have the seat full of water, like full of water.
Must be the water.
You didn't have to cut me off.
Let's add that to the words of wisdom.
Oh, philosophy-wise, he's up there with the greats. Aristotle, Plato, Confucius, meth head down my street that forgot how to speak English from too much meth.
All I gotta say, for context, I think what the Ferrari engineer was saying was that his drink bottle is what leaked and that's why his seat was wet, but just the water. Like, Ferrari doing Ferrari things. We're not even one race in. Speaking of Ferrari and race engineers, for Ferrari, I feel so bad for Lewis. He was just trying to get used to that car, and his engineers are telling him to do stuff and like let him, and he's in the nicest way possible. He's just telling them like, let me race, shut the fuck up and let me race in the nicest way he can, because he knows he'll get a fine. As yeah, Verstappen is he was like 15 seconds behind, and yeah. And then a strange call on lap 31. We had team orders on the first race. Now, the team orders were so they didn't lose any time while they were passing lapped cars, so Verstappen couldn't gain any advantage, and they could secure that 1-2. But regardless, it was strange that it was team orders. Mind you, it didn't last long. Then we lose Fernando Alonso on lap 34 as he bins it. Rare wet mistake from Alonso, considering he pulled it out in Brazil, so weird to see him go. Yeah, so he lost it after that. Lap cars were outlapping themselves. Safety car ends. And they can continue racing. But then Bortoleto gets a 5-second penalty for an unsafe release from his pit box. We'll see. So we'll be coming back to that. As Alex Albon, like, he was defending the crap out of Lewis Hamilton all race. Like, I got to give it to Albon. He really, I know I put him on fraud check in the first video, but if he keeps up like that, I'll eat my words. But on lap 44, something heartbreaking happened for Piastri. He puts it in the grass.
Remember, the medium tyre is off go the McLarens. First of all, Lando Norris, then Oscar Piastri, and Max Verstappen is on line to take second place, and he does so as the Australian driver spins.
And oh man, watching him it sucks for your home race for that to happen. I felt so bad. And then on lap 40, he gets back in the race, but his race weekend was pretty much ruined. He got back into the points, thankfully, but there goes my P5 prediction for Pastry. Well, he was looking good up to that, but both McLarens actually went off. Norris did lose the lead for a bit, then regained it, but him and Verstappen, from this point on, from lap 44, that changed the race. We were in for an exciting last 10 or so laps. Then on lap 47, we lose Bortoleto and Liam Lawson, as they both DNF. Bad day for rookies. Kimi Antonelli and Ollie Behrman were the only 2 rookies who finished. And then just the absolute cinema for the end of the race. Yes, Lando wins at the end of the day, which does suck for me as a Max Verstappen fan, which means none of my race predictions were correct. This would have gotten 2 if Verstappen had about 1.5 kilometers. But my God, I got to say, those last 5 laps were so exciting. Verstappen right on Norris's tail. Fortunately, Verstappen couldn't get it done, but if he had about another kilometer or so, or one whole lap, Lando was probably getting past. Lando fought hard, though. All the respect for Lando. I may not be a fan of him personally, but I gotta say, good on Lando. I'm proud of him. Good race for Lando. Good race from Max. None of them are my drivers of the day, but you love to see a good battle in the last 10 laps for first, and that's exactly what Lando and Max delivered. So now let's get into the results. So we'll start with 20th, and we'll go to first. So in 20th, Isaac Hadjar, he didn't even start. Jack Doohan, he was the first DNF. Carlos Sainz, the second DNF. Fernando Alonso, the third DNF. Gabriel Bortoleto, the fourth DNF. Liam Lawson, the fifth DNF. And then finally, we got on to the racers who actually finished the race. In 14th, we have Oliver Bearman. Hard weekend for Bearman, as he gets out qualified and now beaten in race by Esti Besti. Hopefully there's another podium for Esti Besti one day. Yuki Tsunoda. Just... My issue with Yuki's race was his strategy at the end. I think his strategy messed him up. He was racing really good. It's just the strategy call was not there for him at the end. I feel bad for Yuki, man. He should have been very well finished in the points. Yes, he still outqualifies. Yes, he still beats both Lawson and Hadjar in racing terms, but a points finish would have been cool for Tsunoda. In 11th, we have Pierre Gasly. Then at first we had some controversy about P5. We'll talk about that when we get to it. So, Lewis Hamilton finishes 10th in his Ferrari debut. I had him finishing 3rd. So automatically, wrong there. Piastri takes home 9th. I had him finishing 5th. So wrong again. Charles Leclerc finishes 8th. I had him 3rd. No, 4th. Yes, I had him 4th. So wrong again. In 7th, Nico Hülkenberg getting more points in one race for Kick Sauber than Kick Sauber got in the entirety of 2024. No offense, Joe Guan Yu. But, oh my god, Nico Hülkenberg. If anybody can get a trash car to good results, it's got to be Hülkenberg. In 6th, a man who ran a relatively quiet race, Lance Stroll. Good on Lance, honestly. In 5th, after the race, Kimi Antonelli got a 5-second penalty. So he was in 5th, but then later it was reversed, so then he got 4th. So in 5th, Alex Albon. Again, if he keeps this up, this fraud check may be off. In 4th, in his debut, Kimi Antonelli goes from P16 to P4. Not quite podium positions, but good nonetheless. Now our podium, which I got completely wrong. In 3rd, we have George Russell, a quiet, boom, I'm here sort of deal for George Russell, kind of like one race last year where he was just kind of, boom, I finished in the points. I don't remember which one. In 2nd, my boy, defending champ, Max Verstappen, and with one win on the season, Lando Norris, I believe, who also picked up the fastest lap. Yeah, Lando Norris has picked up who picked up the first fastest lap. So now let's go to the qualifying head-to-head, starting with the team as they finished. So for McLaren, Norris 1-0. Yeah, so safe to say I went 0-5 in the predictions. So Lando 1-0 for Lando, 1-0 for Max for Red Bull. In Mercedes, 1-0 for George Russell. Williams, 1-0 for Albon. For Aston Martin, I can't believe I'm about to say this, 1-0 Lance Stroll. For Kick Sauber, 1-0 Nico Hülkenberg. For the Ferrari, 1-0 for Charles Leclerc. For Alpine, 1-0 for Pierre Gasly. For Racing Bulls, 1-0 for Tsunoda. And for Haas, 1-0 Ocon. So, Next round is China, so stay tuned for my Chinese Grand Prix predictions. So now, I'm going to give out an award for my drivers of the day, and I got 3. So I'll start in the order of the way they finished. My first driver of the day, Kimi Antonelli. What a race by that man. Yeah, no, none of the podium guys are in my race or driver of the day. Even though Lando won the official driver of the day, which, no. The 3 people I'm about to mention deserve driver of the day way more than Norris. But driver of the day is just a popularity contest where it won't be that way here. For the most part. So Kimi Antonelli is my first driver of the day. My second driver of the day is Alex Albon. And my third driver of the day, Nico Hülkenberg. And I do want to give a special shout out to Yuki Tsunoda because he was racing in the top 10 for most of the race. It was just strategy in the last 10 laps that kind of messed him up. So yeah, those are my official 3 drivers of the day. I will keep track of how many times a driver gets driver of the day. That being said, thank you for watching, and I will see you for China. And Editor Chan, you're welcome for the bag that you're going to get.
I gotta do it, man.
Because this series will be going on all year long. I'm excited to talk about the F1 season. I'm excited Formula 1 is back. I have been Moon, and you've been watching Formula Moon. Thank you, everybody, and I will see you for the Chinese Grand Prix predictions and then review when I wake up at 4 in the morning to watch this crap. Yes, I woke up at 2 in the morning to watch, or 12 in the morning to watch Australia. So, I'm pretty exhausted. But thank you. The grind set never stops, and thank you for watching Formula Moon, and check out more of our stuff here on the channel. We have a podcast that's kind of there. We do want to bring it back soon. We're in talks of trying to bring it back. And we have 3 new series to watch out for. We have Formula Moon, which will be hosted by me every Sunday/Monday, and about Wednesday, Thursday for Sunday, Monday for the race review, and Wednesday, Thursday for the predictions. So yeah, thank you for watching, subscribing, and supporting. Also go check out this series. Stay tuned for this series. Check out Owen and Marsh, Forcibly Ranked. And check out Moon and Owen, which episode 3 should be out soon. Thank you all, and I'll see you for the Chinese Grand Prix predictions.